gotta say, today I ain't come here to play. I came here to hear, appreciate, and watch our high level and demonstrate. But wait, I really gotta think. The way y'all doing this, man, it really must not be my thing. And yet he said, yeah, I made it to Netflix, but it's because y'all elevate me to higher places. Understand, I got chosen, but without y'all, I will be frozen. Because y'all bring that heat to warm me up, because that's how we do it. I ain't even want it, bro, but think about it, real talk.
Hello, everyone. This is Ken with Cowrie Shell Archives, and today we're here with Panther, the community manager for Soul Food Cypher. Would you go ahead and introduce yourself and a little bit about your role at Soul Food Cypher?
Hey, um, I'm Panther Lattimore. I'm the community manager for Soul Food Cypher. So essentially, I work as the liaison between Alex, the founder of Soul Food Cypher, and its members or anybody else who might be interested, like you guys. So here I am.
Yes, and would you mind telling us a little bit about your mission and history with Soul Food Cypher, as well as how you got into being the community manager,
Mm.
and just a little bit about maybe even the future of Soul Food Cypher as well?
Okay, so as Alex would put it, the mission of Cypher, the mission of Soul Food Cypher is to empower and transform the community through freestyle rap. And I've seen that happen in real time, in person, and you'll see it when you come to the November Cypher. But as far as how I got into Soul Food Cypher, about a year ago, actually, a year ago in a day, I was giving a lecture at the dungeon where Outkast used to record and produce music out of just before they were famous. And I was giving a lecture on a research project that I'm a part of called the Rap Map, that I work on at Georgia State with a professor named Brennan Collins. And so I'm giving this lecture on the Rap Map, uh, and Alex is in the audience and he takes interest to the project. And with the rap map, real quick, just to sum it up, I essentially go through the discographies of Atlanta artists over the past 3 or 4 decades. And as I'm going through their lyrics, I'm looking for any reference to geographical locations within the state of Georgia. And every time I find a location, I put it on a pinpoint and put that pinpoint on a map. And as you would imagine, once I go through a number of artists through the number of years, you'll get a bunch of pinpoints on the map. And we're using it to track the gentrification and displacement of Atlanta residents over the years. And so I'm explaining this. Alex takes interest to it because he's written an essay on a similar topic, and he invites me to come out to a November cipher, similar to how he invited you guys to come out to a November cipher. And I come out, I love it, as I hope you guys will too. We talk some more, and he eventually invites me to come on to the staff team as an intern to see how things are done. Maybe if I could learn some things about project management. And after a couple of months, I decided I wanted to stick around for good, and he gave me the title as community manager. And so here we are now in the following November, asking you guys to come out to the November Cipher.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an amazing story. I
thank you.
also love how dedicated you are to so many things that have to do with rap and rap culture, especially in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I love to hear more about some current projects Soul Food Cypher is working on, or where you see the future of Soul Food Cypher
Right.
heading.
Right. So as far as the future of Soul Food Cypher, Alex, Marcus Jones, and I started a program within Soul Food Cypher called Soul Food Cypher Next. And our mutual friend Trey is actually a part of this program. But this program is essentially an artist development program where we take, right now we have 9 artists who we call prospects, and we teach them things about performance techniques. We teach them things about the history of hip hop, and we teach them things about community. And so much so that we encourage them to create their own community service projects, and we hope to set them up, pair them with OGs within the Soul Food Cypher community, so as mentors, and in a mentorship program, so that they can work together on these community service projects. And we just want to put as many hands and feet in the community as possible, and just to create leaders, and just keep the cycle going.
Right. So then, in a way, you would say that like one of the key tenets of Soul Food Cypher is that community building aspect.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So that would actually be knowledge, responsibility, and respect. Those would be the three tenets of Soul Food Cypher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. I would love to hear a little bit more about your feelings on the importance of rap and hip hop in the larger picture of Black culture, especially because you are someone that's like so heavily
Yeah.
studied in this area. Um, I just want to hear like a little bit from you personally about that importance.
Of rap and hip hop
Culture, yeah, as a
culture.
culture.
I think for me, the importance is in the power and how it unifies the community. There's something about when we hear a drum beat, or there's something about when we hear rhythm, just in general, how we're drawn to it, and how if we hear music, it's almost like we're called to it. And when used properly, that can create a safe space of celebration and joy where people can come together, laugh, dance, rap, whatever the case is, and kind of heal together, whether they know it or not. And so for me, I'm sure you've heard like the trope how like music can be medicine or
Hmm.
whatever the case is, but it's hard to even call it a trope when you see it in real time, which is why I'm so heavily involved. So whether I'm involved in hip hop analytically, or whether I'm involved in it, altruistically, either way, I'm looking for different ways to tell the stories of those who came before, and looking for a way to put future storytellers on a platform now so they can capture the narratives of those who came before and those who will come after. So that's really the importance to me, just the power of the ability of music to unify the community, whether it's through the actual rhythm of the music or whether it's through storytelling.
Yeah. That was so beautifully
Thank
said.
you.
So how would you say Soul Food Cypher kind of fits into that or aligns with that for you?
Soul Food Cypher is determined on bringing people together under a peaceful, loving, nurturing premise. So much so that I'm sure if you're somewhat familiar with freestyle rap, you would you might be familiar with battle rapping, right? And so with the whole point of battle rapping is, winners and losers. I have to defeat you, I have to destroy you, I have to say terrible things about you, and whoever says the worst things wins. That's the essence of battle rapping. But Soul Food Cypher is so against that idea of verbal and emotional violence that instead of battle rapping, we do what we call nice bars. And so at the end of our programming, when we have two MCs standing and they have to go against each other to determine a winner, or a victor rather, I could say, instead of having them denigrate one another, we have them uplift one another. And so instead of a rap battle, they would have nice bars. So if you're wearing a particular sweater that I like today, I'll include that in my compliments of rap. If you like my afro, you'll include that in your compliments of raps, and we'll go back and forth. And we'll let the community, the members, the audience decides who was nicer, and whoever was nicer wins. So that's how ingrained it is within the organization to not commit violence essentially against one another, whether metaphorical or physical, or literal or figurative, or in whatever case. Even when we're competing against one another, we're uplifting one another. So that's how I feel like Soul Food Cypher is trying to contribute to that message. Yeah,
Yeah, I love the nice bars
yeah,
idea.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty fun if you've ever been a part of it. you just start smiling. You don't know what to do. It's always awkward, but in the best way possible. It's like when people are singing "Happy Birthday" to you. You just are like, oh yeah, you just take it in. But it's great. You'd rather that than somebody like roasting you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because Cowrie Shell Archives is all about cultural preservation, I would love to hear a little bit about what you think Soul Food Cypher's role is in preserving rap and hip hop culture.
Well, when's the last time you've seen a cipher?
Yeah.
That question I think can answer your question almost. Like, I don't see ciphers ever outside of Soul Food Cypher, and like it's so hip hop that I actually see people breakdancing from time to time, and it's like, when's the last time you've seen anybody breakdancing? Like, so, for example, this is actually the perfect answer to a perfect question. So just a few weeks ago, Alex and Soul Food Cypher through the ATL Park Jam. Are you familiar?
Mhm.
And, right, and so since you would then know that it was essentially a block party for Atlanta, and it was an all-day event where we tried to invite all elements of hip hop. We had breakdancers out there. We had graffiti artists out there. We had turntablists, rappers, MCs, of course. We even had bikers. There are people who like basically breakdance on BMX bikes.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it, but like we had them out there. We even held a basketball tournament, and so Alex and Soul Food Cypher is doing everything in their power to preserve the culture of hip hop,
Mhm.
like the vanguard of hip hop, the kind of hip hop that you think of where it's almost nowadays corny or like outdated, like
Mhm.
to break out in to start freestyling or to start breakdancing or to graffiti to like it almost makes me want to buy a turntable, or almost makes me actually, as a matter of fact, Alex has promised to teach me how to DJ. You know what I mean? And so
Okay.
like little stuff like that, like that's how committed he is as a person to preserve the culture of hip hop, that he's trying to pass forward whatever knowledge he can, which is essentially what we're trying to do with Soul Food Cypher Next, which is why we named it that. They're meant to be the next generation of a lost art. I think that's a good way to put it. They're meant to be the next generation of a lost art, of a lost culture, and
Right.
they are the epitome of what we're trying to keep alive or what we're trying to preserve. So yeah,
Yeah, that's a beautiful
thank you.
answer. I think that's all my questions for you today, but I would love to hear if you have just any final statements, anything you want to say about Soul Food Cypher or just rap and hip hop in general.
I think, as I've mentioned before, there definitely is a power, a power to rap. There is a potential there to heal, and if not heal, there's at least a path to community if you decide to embrace it. And which actually I invite everybody to do. If you come out November 24th to our final cipher of the year, I invite everybody to see for yourselves what the power of rap can be. And yeah, I think I can end it there,
Yeah.
confidently. Yeah,
Thank you. I
yeah, of course.
appreciate all your
Yeah, of
thoughts.
course. No, thank you.
That shit was funny. You might be able to shit.
All right, y'all, we're gonna hit the Cupid shuffle while we fix the TV. The rest of the night, this is wordplay 1. We're gonna have wordplay 2, nice bars, which is a battle between the winners from wordplay 1 and wordplay 2.
I'm feeling so inspired. Everybody around me, I'm getting that rush. But catch me in the store. That's lush. And I think it's going to be stability. Yeah, it's really calm. I know the never gone. But it's not short. I'm still long. Yeah, I feel it in the nation. I feel it
Hey, it's Ken with Cowrie Shell Archives. I'm here with.
Neon, by the way.
And what is your title within Soul Food Cypher?
So my title was Soul Food Cypher. I'm an MC, one of the original members of Soul Food Cypher.
And so with being an OG in Soul Food Cypher, what does that usually entail?
Some of what we do is fostering new MCs. We pretty much step up to the plate as far as volunteering, and our efforts are pretty much widespread. Meaning, I could help from setup and breakdown to helping out with boot camps for new MCs. Also, sometimes I help out with merch and preparing and selling and breakdown of merch. Also, just anything having to do with our segments as far as like wordplay. The involvement level is high for MCs, and pretty much being a liaison between, the higher members and the lower members,
Right.
the newer members, for better words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to some of like the mission and the development of Soul Food Cypher, what has your role been specifically?
Pretty much to keep the outlook on hip hop positive.
Right.
With our workshops in the schools and people coming in to be spectators of our ciphers, it's been our mission to pretty much facilitate the perspective of like newcomers and people who are hip hop enthusiasts. We want to make sure that they leave with something, and that's like a positive outlook on brotherhood and MC, hip hop, everything that they can gain from our cipher, meaning like the DJ sets and segments and how we role play and play off of each other, and just anything that has to do with our camaraderie. We're so much of a team that we want to display that. We want to bring in the youth to show them how they can benefit from the ciphers, and also our community efforts outside of the cipher. Um, any event that we do outside of the cipher, we want to make sure that we're present and pretty much pushing that agenda on a positive outlook on hip hop.
Yeah, I think that's really beautiful the way you all are able to like bring community together to do that. When you talked a little bit about bringing up newer rappers through Soul Food Cypher, it kind of sounded to me a little bit of like one of the ways that you all promote growth. So I would love to hear more about the growth in Soul Food Cypher as an organization.
So yeah, as people come, new members, they sign up. Once they show interest, then there's a process. I'm not 100% familiar with the process, but there's a process from them becoming like your member that shows up to our ciphers and participate to being like a real deal member, leading up into being an OG. Yeah, we're able to foster them. This, we've done it for like 7 different, I guess you could say, generations of MCs. I think we've had maybe 7 boot camps. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but I think it's been about 7 boot camps. And that means we've had 7 classes of MCs that have been coming, they've been members, then they've worked their way into like becoming a staple in the cypher community. And it's through workshops, community involvement, same thing that we do now. Is just them having to put the effort in and showing that they really want it.
Right. I would love to also hear how you feel Soul Food Cypher has just impacted the Atlanta rap scene or kind of hip hop culture overall. Because, sorry to keep going, but
It's okay.
to me, I feel that there is kind of a sense of like the preservation of that culture because you all are passing it down. So how do you feel like the impact has been?
The impact has been monumental, in my opinion. I've not known of many other lasting ciphers to do it for community purposes. This has been such a niche thing that I think that is very valuable to Atlanta culture, which is entertainment culture.
Right.
And I think since we have like a different perspective on hip hop, as far as like not being as trendy as some of the trap sounds and stuff like that. Hip hop has been big in Atlanta before, but I think us trying to preserve it and like nurture it and present it I think it's that's what makes it monumental. I just think that what we're trying to do is like make sure that it's not only one era of great hip hop here in Atlanta, that it's more than like 3 eras,
Right.
you know. So
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And then my final question for you is just like in terms of you personally, and the way that you connect with Soul Food Cypher, I want to hear about like how fulfilling it's been for you.
it's been very fulfilling. I think that it's given me a path as far as like goal orientation. I get to pretty much build with my brothers and sisters. I think that it's very it's a family vibe. It's very advantageous for anyone who's looking for hip hop culture and family and a little bit of camaraderie. I've got to know people that I probably wouldn't know on my everyday walk, and we all share one thing in common, and that's hip hop. But as we cultivate this family vibe, it's kind of been real rewarding over the years, because you get to see older people come in and share their perspective, and younger people come in to share their perspective, and kids also. So some of our members have kids. We get a chance to like fellowship with the kids, and over years, everyone grows. So from my perspective, I get a chance to pretty much be hands on in the community,
Right.
and just it opens up the opportunity to continue and then branch out, because if I spread the word about Soul Food Cypher, someone might, you know, give me an opportunity to help somewhere else in the community. So it's also a networking tool as well.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. There's so many like layers to the
It
ways that
is.
it's beneficial.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think that's all my questions for you today,
Okay.
but I really, really appreciate it.
No problem.
If you have any other lasting statements that you would want to end the interview with, then now's the time.
I don't have a lasting statement. I just appreciate, you all questioning me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
participating. I appreciate it.
All right.
Climbing up, climbing up, burning bridges, climbing up.
Welcome to the top, to the skyscraper with the block. Trampoline, I'm jumping high and high, make them crumpin'. I'm an antique, I love old things, make me a vintage leap. Seashell, by the seashore, I let the ocean pour. Mosquitoes, I don't know what else to do.
Hey, it's Ken with Cowrie Shell Archives. I'm here with
London Bridges.
Hello, how are you feeling today?
What's up? I think I can describe it as nerve-sided.
Yeah.
You know, a little nervous, a little excited, you know.
That actually is a nice word that I've never heard before.
Yeah. I'm the queen of mashing words together, as the poet I am.
Yeah, and when it like on the topic of mashing words together, I'd love to hear a little bit about what your main inspirations are behind the ways that you rap.
Man, so I started out as a poet, still am a spoken word artist. So been writing since I was about 14 years old. I think it just stems from imagination and spirituality. One of our cohort members always says, "Let the spirit move you," jokingly. And so, me being a believer in Christ, that's a big deal to me. Allowing God to kind of implement my creativity. And me being made in this image, of course, that brings the imagination and the spirituality together. My biggest challenge has been not overthinking, because as a poet, I always think before I write. I always kind of get to marinate on things. So this has brought me out of my shell quite a bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of shells, right? Shells. Yeah.
I have so many questions. One thing I want to ask is when it comes to the way spirituality informs you musically, I think that there is a long history between Black music and Black Christianity.
For sure.
So I would love to hear how that history kind of informs your own relationship.
That's a minute. I might have to think about that for a moment. So the way that hip hop kind of got introduced to me, I think it's a parallel of the improvisation and the Again, back to letting the spirit move you. I think when you see that confidence begin to grow a little bit more when you sort of relax into yourself and you relax into who you've been created to be. You know what I'm saying? There's also like a bit of a intersection of preaching and speaking. When people tend to feel the spirit, they start to improvise a little more, right? You have scriptures, you have a holy text, but you don't veer off of it because it's already innately in you. But you just improvise, and you just kind of you stay in that train of thought, that stream of consciousness. But because of what's inside of you, my mom used to always say, "What's in you will come out," and it's true. So I think that's kind of like the way that those things kind of intersect for me.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
There's a lot more to learn too. I mean, even when I think about being an African American, right? I didn't have none of us had a lot of teaching on a lot of our roots. But thanks to this program, Soul Food Cypher Next, we've been able to learn a little bit more about the history, when it comes to our voices being drums, right? Not just our voices being like carriers of a message, but even like the actual rhythmic patterns and things like that. When you think about Harriet Tubman and you think about slavery time and how the slaves would communicate with song. And so there's so much more. I mean, we obviously are way more than slavery, but that's just one reference point.
Right.
You wanna?
No, that just took me off guard. I want to also ask about what you feel that Soul Food Cypher's role has been in your development as an artist.
Man, teaching me how to get out of my head. It's two parts of your brain, sort of colliding, and it's difficult to do. Everybody cannot do it. I've always respected people that freestyle. Nowadays when you go on a hip hop channel, YouTube, or you go on Spotify, or wherever there's a hip hop platform, you see people freestyling, but they're actually spitting writtens. We have a joke about that here, and there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but we just want to be true to the art form of allowing our left brain and our right brain to maximize the potential that you've been given. How can you think on your feet? And I think you become the best version of yourself when you're able to bring both of those worlds together.
Yeah. And if there was one final statement that you could say about your experience and your time with Soul Food Cypher so far, what do you think would be the best way to summarize it?
Okay, I think the best way to summarize it is soul food, right, is about community. It's about enjoying yourself. It's about being full. And I think those three components are key here. Knowing that you can be entertained, but it's far more important to be educated. And how much more beautiful is it if we can bring education and entertainment together?
Right.
And that's what I hope to aspire to be. I want to become an edutainer, right? I want to be able to give people food for the soul, so that they could be full. They can, collaborate with community and just be the best thing God made them.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I think that's all my questions for you, but I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah,
sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get a little vocal on vocal, that's that agility. We all let these flows, that's just responsibility. Notice how it is success. I think I got pressed, but nonetheless, I got to say I got that empathy. That's empathy, no sympathy when I wanted to whiskers. What do you hear? That's not that whisper. But wait, I got a compass, I know what it is. Like I'm hunted, come between me. Got foes and we got plenty. I'm like any, mini, mind, we walk away. Let me let you know that this shit just like fireworks. No, this is from a
Cowrie Shell Archives. I'm here with
Cowrie.
And can you explain a little bit about what we're doing today?
Absolutely. So I'm a part of Soul Food Cypher, one of many. And today is actually the last cipher of the year. So we're just going to vibe out. We're going to have an open cipher, do some wordplay activities. And you'll get to see what that is, hopefully. And then, yeah, just vibe out.
Yeah, I would love to hear a little bit about the motivations for you joining Soul Food Cypher and what rap and freestyling means for your love for hip hop overall.
Absolutely. So freestyling has been a way that I just express how I feel in the moment. Like, what better way to express it, just get it out right then and there. And I actually met the host. His name is Alex Acosta.
Mm-hmm.
And I met him at the dungeon. So that's like where Outcasts used to, like, you know, make music, vibe out. And yeah, he invited me and Panther, actually. He invited us out there, and he was like, come out. We came, and then we just clicked. Because Soul Food Cypher isn't like your typical, like, cipher where you battle rap and tear people down. Like, you literally, we have nice bars. We get to build each other up, and it's just a lot of positivity, honestly. So
yeah, I love that. I love the positive vibes.
Right.
I also think that it's really interesting what you said about the connection to rap history with the way that you even found yourself in Soul Food Cypher.
Exactly.
So I'd love to hear like how your relationship to rap history influences the work that you do.
That's a great prompt. I feel like for me, I'm naturally like an old soul. So like when I am freestyling, like here in present time, I just like to, you know, represent old hip hop and have some of those like influences in my freestyle. So in a way, I feel like I'm preserving like old hip hop, but like still mixing it with the new one, like keeping it alive.
Right. And would you say that you feel like Soul Food Cypher as a group and as a movement, as an event, is a way of preserving rap culture as well?
Absolutely. Like 100%. Like all of the MCs, we all bring something different. We have all different types of like music tastes. And so when we come together, we just get to experience like, which era of hip hop is so and so preserving, which era of hip hop, you know. So yeah, I feel like we're all just, we bring our own thing, and yeah.
Yeah. And if you could say one thing about what you feel like Soul Food Cypher's impact is on the culture, what would you say?
Just being a voice. Being a voice for those who might not feel like they have a safe space to just freestyle or just even be present in a space. So yeah, in short, I feel like Soul Food Cypher just, it's a platform, and if you have something to say, you can say it. Safe space.
Yeah, well, thank you. That's all my questions. You did really amazing. Hey, it's Ken with Cowrie Shell Archives. I'm here with
Denise Griffin.
How are you doing today?
Well, thank you.
I want to talk to you a little bit about your role in Soul Food Cypher. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. My role is that I am the mother of one of the founders of Soul Food Cypher, or founding members of Soul Food Cypher, Alex Acosta. And I am commonly and very affectionately called OCM, which stands for the original Cypher Mom.
That's so cute.
I know. There's soccer moms and baseball moms. Well, I'm the original Cypher Mom.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say it's been like kind of watching Alex go through the foundation of Soul Food Cypher? And I'd also love to hear a bit about how you got more and more involved with it yourself.
Okay. As a mother, I watched him navigate music, because he was always into music, all types of music. and he loved hip hop. Although he still was interested in all other types as well, he just found a niche in hip hop that really spoke to his soul. So at the time, I was a single parent, and I did my best to make sure I was in tune with what my son was interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So in doing that, I had to make sure that I learned hip hop. I had to learn how to listen, to be able to hear what he heard in the music and not just hear what, you know, the negativity side. There was
Right.
much more deeper meaning to the craft itself. So I had to train my ears, and because I wanted to relate to him and what he was finding in the art form itself. So I found that it was important for me as a mother to get to know what he was interested in.
Right. And when you kind of started to look deeper into hip hop, do you feel like you developed your own relationship with it too?
I don't know if I have my own relationship. I think I have a relationship to it through Soul Food Cypher.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I have there's certain parts of hip hop that I like and that I can relate to, because some of the artists kind of cross over. So there's, some of those artists that do, like Erica Badu. I like her, and there's spoken word artists that speak that are kind of in R&B as well. I'm 64, so I tend to not fall under that category of hip hop. But through Soul Food Cypher, I've learned to appreciate it. Plus, I have an interest in art as a whole. I'm an artist. I can draw and sketch, and I'm a graphic designer. So art as a whole is interesting to me. So I'm always interested in learning and experiencing other styles and crafts and things of that nature. So I was interested in it from that standpoint.
Yeah, I love how you also brought in the artistic standpoint of it too, because hip hop is a culture, but it's also an art form. And I think that there is like a symbiotic relationship between those two things. And of course, Soul Food Cypher, as kind of a hub of supporting artists, is like contributing its own thing to that. So I would love to hear how you feel from your perspective, watching so many people come into it and like develop themselves. What would you say it's been like to kind of see the artists develop themselves?
I would say that's probably the most rewarding part of it. Is I've seen over the 12, 13 years that we've been doing this, I'm seeing young men and women come in the Cypher very raw when they get here, and over time develop and perfect their skill and their comfort level and their independence and delivery, and I've just seen it just come from nowhere to just off the charts. And so that's very fulfilling to see them develop and grow personally as well as professionally as it relates to the music. I also must admit, I'm starting really to feel like the whole I guess the OCM is really hitting home, because now the members are starting to come back with their kids. They're bringing their kids to the Cypher. So, I'm starting to see that as well. It's like a grandmama almost, or a grandmother or mother, just them are my children having children. So
Yeah.
I see it from that standpoint. One member recently was introducing me to someone, and he said, "This is OCM, and she has 50 children." And I looked at him, I'm like, I guess I do. I got 50, 50 members or so. And I really took that as a compliment. I only gave birth to one, but I have 50 others. So
yeah, I love hearing that. Like that also, like I think that adds a layer to how fulfilling it is to watch them grow over time. And like there's like such a big community aspect. So that's so nice to hear.
And I've seen too where they come and they look forward to having something that's consistent, and seeing a relationship like what Alex and I have, a mother-son relationship. And Alex started this back when. And a lot of the young people that he was relating to and that basically inspired him to start it didn't have those relationships with their parents or a home or a mentor or anyone to kind of look up to. So he provided that for a lot of them. And then for them to come to the cipher and see what we have as a relationship and what I give to others, not only just him, I give to all of them. And they get a lot out of that. And I think they look forward to having someone like that who can give to them once they get here.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's so I think I hadn't really considered the community aspect of it because I was focusing so much on the artistic aspect, but it's really nice to hear how close tied everyone becomes and how much of a family it becomes over time.
Yeah. It has. And like I said, over the years, I've seen them come and go. Most of them come, they never go. Just a few leave or move out of Atlanta. But the majority of them are still here. Every so often, we'll see someone we hadn't seen in a long time. But they'll always come back, and they know we're here. We're consistent. That speaks a lot to a lot of people right now. There's a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of uncertainty. So what we provide is consistent. And I think that's important in our culture.
Yeah, I mean, have you really taken the time to think of yourself as I know you acknowledge yourself as OCM, but have you kind of taken the time to acknowledge how much of a cultural staple that you are? You've kind of become this big thing within Soul Food Cypher.
I mean, just thinking of, I know, like I said, being consistent, yes. And I know what I mean to my son, and I know, and he's always very grateful for everything that I do for Soul Food Cypher. But look beyond that, I hadn't really thought about it. Just know that I want to provide something that's consistent.
Yeah.
Not only for him, but for the others as well.
Yeah. I mean, I feel from talking to you, it's there is this very strong matriarchal energy that you're bringing to everything. But it is so important. And so I really love that.
Yeah. And as women, I mean, we tend to be that way anyway,
Yeah.
So my mother did it for me and our church and our community at home. So it's just natural, Many years ago, someone referred to our event as hip hop church. Somebody referred to it, maybe about the 50th year or something. There was a write-up in one article, and they called it hip hop church. So it is like a form of religion or a movement, because we're consistent and we're providing, relationships and a sense of community under what we do on a regular basis. So it is hip hop church.
Yeah, honestly, I feel that's a beautiful. That is so beautiful. I feel that is a good place to leave it. I do want to ask, if you have any lasting statements or something you really wanted to express that I maybe didn't ask you about.
No, earlier today I happened to watch some special, and just with some of the questions you asked earlier made me think about it, crossed my mind. They were talking about the legacy of the church. And then here we are talking about it, about the African American church and all of the customs and things that were brought into the church were, from Africa, and were the whole slave trade and all of the customs that were taken away, and just a whole not being able to read, and yet they found a way to learn how to read, and all the Jim Crow laws. It just talked about all of that and how important our legacy is, and how important our culture is, and how we have to continue to pass it on.
Yes.
Alex and Soul Food Cypher has started what they call SFC Next, which is to train the next generation of MCs and members. So I applaud that effort wholeheartedly, because I think that's something he's been wanting to do for some time anyway, because he understands legacy. He's very much into to ancestors and all of, you know, the cultural side of that. So I'm not surprised, but he's finally getting it off the ground. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, I love how you connected everything because I was also thinking like there is the like larger cultural legacy of the church and what it means to pass things down. And I think Soul Food Cyphers found such a beautiful way to hit that sweet spot of like doing that preservation, passing things down, building the community, but also making it something that's like relevant to the modern time. So it's like Soul Food Cypher is keeping these traditions alive in a way that young people can relate to.
Yes. Even the young people, you would think hip hop is not as well the type of hip hop we do. I mean, we don't do track and all that other stuff, but the type of hip hop that we do is still very much alive. So I think a lot of that has to do with what Soul Food Cypher brings.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I really appreciate this conversation.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you.
I really want to see how I conquer. You speed up doing it so fast, it's intriguing my mama. See like what you do with the keys, looking to jeopardize. And you can see it inside these flashing like a jeopardize when they proceed. Inside the Amazon basin, I ain't doing what I need to do, and now my flow crazy. It's a spiral, but I'm riding like a blooming fire on the side of the road, and that's how I go. I'm shooting this delusion, I'm running through it, and I've been drifting off lately. But now I'm back because the rhythm of God is saving me. Hey! Look closer! And the purpose is divine. We all been given the gift of language to be able to decode the hidden world to make it reality. But we just call it hip hop because that's the only way the world will understand. So I'm grateful for the organization. I'm grateful for the OGs. I'm grateful for those that embrace me. I'm grateful for the brotherhood. Because one thing I've always dealt with is being gifted. That being gifted oftentimes comes with isolation. It separates you because that is the price of being a genius. Sometimes you got to find your prayer closet becomes your studio. But it's in the cipher is the place for reanimated corpses. When I came, I was dead. But by your love and embracing me, I'm alive again. So even though I won tonight, this ain't just for me. This ain't just for SLC Next. This for every OG that been here for 13 years. This for every meeting, course, and Mark Month had to do, for every flyer they passed out, for every connection, for every time they went without, just so we can be here, for all the things that we don't know, to make it run.
Hey, it's Ken with Cowrie Shell Archives, and I'm here with
Rio Nkosi.
How are you feeling today?
I feel amazing.
I see that you won your award.
Yeah, I feel amazing. You know, it means so much for it to be the grand finale of the year and to win the Cypher Wordplay Master for the entire year. It's an incredible honor. I'm humble and I'm extremely grateful.
Yeah, I would love to hear more about like the award ceremony. So this is my first time coming to Soul Food Cypher. So is this kind of like an end of the year thing, or like how does it work?
Yeah, so it's the rubric for it is the entire year. Those that have won the awards like wordplay, nice bars, just Cypher bringing the energy over the year, like have got proven track record of, you know, just standing out amongst all great MCs. As you can see tonight, everybody is operating at such a high level. So it's a really hard competition. So by the end of the year, we've came up with the opportunity to present awards to those that have kind of rose to the top, stood out from the crowd, made, you know, that much of an impact. And, you know, this is how we give back. You know, we create our own award show to commemorate those moments.
Yeah, how does it feel to be commemorated?
It feels amazing because this is what you work for.
Right.
If somebody tell you that they don't want to be acknowledged or they don't want something physical representation of your efforts, then they haven't tapped deep within themselves enough. Once you tap into your purpose, other people can see it.
Right.
So when other people see it, the natural response is to reward you for your effort. That's the law of the universe. So I feel amazing. I feel great. I feel like I'm in divine alignment. Like, you know, everything worked out exactly how God planned for me.
I love that. I'm so happy for you.
It's a beautiful moment.
I want to get more into your time with Soul Food Cypher.
Yeah.
So how long have you been a part of this?
A year. September made a year.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so it's a year and a couple months. So I was in Kentucky on a business trip, and I just scrolling through my social media, and the algorithm suggested it to me.
Oh.
Just based on my own traffic, me posting different things, events. So the algorithm found me, you know, how the data matches you up with similar interests. And I seen it, and immediately when I seen the commercial, the promo, I was like, I felt this desire. I needed to be there as soon as I get back to Georgia, because I'm from Atlanta. As soon as I get off this road, I'm gonna make my business to join the organization through Patreon, which you can join. Go on Patreon, Soul Food Cypher. Shameless plug. Definitely, we love to have you to be a part of the organization. I came, and when I came, I didn't know what to expect. I was in a bubble, knowing I had great talent, but to come here and see everybody else equally talented, it opened up, it unlocked another part of my artistry.
Right.
And I fit right in, man. And they embraced me, and I found my tribe. So it's been a year. In that year span, I've won 2 Juice Awards. I've always made it close to the finals, and at the end of the year, I finally had my moment, and I ended up winning it. And that whole journey, that whole circle, it means so much. It's a snapshot, a microcosm of my life for this last year. It's been a never-ending battle. This is the icing on the top of the cake.
That's amazing.
I'm sorry if I'm long-winded, but
no. Keep
I do
going.
interview. Like when I talk to people, I want to talk to you for real. I don't want you to, like, when we interviewing, you feel like I was giving you like a projection, because you very organic energy. I want to make sure I'm giving you the real me.
Thank you.
So, you know, you can put that with what you've seen from a lyrical standpoint and what I'm saying now. You merge those together, and that's real Nicosi.
Yeah.
I'm a very authentic, you know, I pull from an authentic source.
Yeah, and I actually love that, because with Cowrie, like with Cowrie Shell Archives, what I want to do is try to capture people's essence like as raw as possible. I don't want to interrupt too much. I don't want to like put too much of my opinion. I want you to like just give it to me how it is.
Yeah.
Whether I agree or not, that's life, right?
And we value your opinion too. Your opinion is very important and necessary. So I welcome it. I thank you for sharing the platform, the energy. I'm humbled by all of it.
Thank you. I do want to ask you, you said you're from Atlanta. How does it feel to be from Atlanta and see something like Soul Food Cypher that's like kind of preserving some of that hip-hop history of Atlanta and then like becoming a part of it?
Yeah, it's a very special thing to be chosen to be in a city like that, or in a time frame, because we could have been born in any generation, but we were born here at this moment to be a part of the hip-hop scene in the 80s to the 90s, and now where we're at, and to be in Atlanta, the South, the jewel of the South, the history from the Civil War, from the Dr. Kings, and from black millionaires, and all these things, and all these HBCUs, everything that makes Atlanta, and to have hip-hop as a staple. You know, Atlanta been controlling the industry for years, just globally, the producer of new styles, new talents. It became like the Motown of the South. So for me to be a part of that as a native, as a Grady baby. Now, I don't know if you ever, like in your interviews, you heard somebody say, I'm a Grady baby. You automatically know that means you from the soil. I'm from Zone 3, 166, right in the same neighborhood, across those tracks, Sylvan Road. I grew up here. So my story is their story. And for me to be able to make my impact, add my patch to that patchwork quilt of hip hop history, I'm so honored, because it's been a dream of mine since I've been a child.
Yeah.
So to find my space to contribute the essence, I'm forever grateful for it.
Yeah, that's so well said.
Yeah, I mean it.
Yeah, I feel like you express so much that I almost don't know what else to ask you, because you kind of covered everything. Would you say that, or how would you say that like the community aspect of Soul Food Cypher has been for you?
The community has been wonderful. We're talking brotherhood. We're talking mentorship. We're talking a community of individuals who think how to add value to someone else, add service, be there to inspire, character development, integrity, giving back to the community. See, it takes a community to give back to the community. So you see us as a nonprofit organization giving back to children and going to schools and doing all these different things. They embrace me with that same love, that closeness, that tribe. You know, they say it take a village. Soul Food Cypher is just not a place where we come rap. Soul Food Cypher is a village.
Right.
It has a village mentality.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's all my questions for you, but
Yeah.
if you had kind of a lasting statement just
Absolutely.
about like the last year or about Soul Food Cypher in general, what would you want to say?
I want to say that I'm extremely thankful that I was able to find my place amongst other legends and to be validated by other legends that do what I do, that for a long time you go unseen, unexposed, not really sure if anybody will ever hear it the way you hear it, if anybody will ever get it the way you get it. You know about having a talent when you got the idea in mind, and in the back of your mind you always wonder, will the audience see the vision? Will they react to how I reacted when I came up with the idea? And to have that happen amongst people that's equally successful, equally powerful in their own right, but without the ego, to be validated by them, the OGs, the history, it means the world to me. It's like the final stamp of approval that I feel like God brought me full circle and had to bring me here on my journey to solidify my status, not just an MC, but as a man and as a contributor to hip hop history in the art of freestyle.
Yeah,
That's how I met with Trey. You know what I'm saying? Trey, MC Poetry. I'm thankful for him. Just embrace me as a brother and open up these doors. Him in introducing me to you is an example of what you was asking me about the community.
Right.
Me sitting here with you is a result of SFC community. That opened up this door.
Right.
So even this is that in action of what can happen by being with SFC. Now I'm doing an interview. It started with an algorithm. Now I'm doing an interview a year later. How does that happen?
Crazy, right?
You see what I'm saying? Who could predict this? But anyway, don't let me talk your head off.
I love how you really consider all of the factors of like history, where you're from, your community, your culture. Like I feel like it all makes sense how it comes together in the way that you explain it. So this was a really amazing interview.
Thank you so
I appreciate
much.
your time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
And
Thank you for having me.
congratulations.
Yeah, this for us. This for all of us.
Pick them all, let the rhyme hit you in the head, in the tail, and flip them all. What you wanna do, I'm getting on the top of the table. I don't think that you able to get on top of my angle. Range Rover, Eagle, Clover, I think you should know, but I'm about to keep on going. Yeah, come in and get it. I'm running in with it. Over the top, I shoot you to zero with 100% it. Over the scrimmage, yeah, starting to get it. I told you I was able 100%. I got it. Hey, let's not 100%. And one of a man like I am with Jesus.